What is up, Dragon Ballers, and welcome to a deck profile for my second place Trunksgeta at the Zenkai Cup for Europe in last weekend, February Zenkai Cup. So yeah, I came second place. I went X1. My only loss was to the eventual winner, David. Congratulations, David. I will go through my matchups, but for now I'm going to go straight into the deck profile. So it's a pretty standard Trunksgeta, but I'll explain basically my choices for the cards to make it a little bit more interesting. So we have the leader. So with the Trunksgeta leader on this side, just a quick run through. When you swing, you draw one, and then once you've got 2 energy, you can place a 1-cost Vegeta card underneath and flip it over, go down to 6 life, draw one, and then on this side they free play a 1-cost Vegeta or Trunks from the drop or hand, and yeah, you can, the Vegeta you put underneath, you can activate battle, put that in your drop, get 10k and double strike for the battle. So yeah, that's the leader. So we'll start off straight away with a new card. This is the Z leader card for Trunks. Basically, once you're on 4 life, for 2 Z energy, 1 cost, you can Z awaken. When this swings, it's got basically the same effects as the front side, except it gains 5k power, and it's also a crit, which is really nice. It doesn't have the draw effect from the evolve anymore. However, when you restand, if you pay 1 and restand your 8-drop, then you can draw 1, and it's great for restanding the 8-drop. To be honest, this card didn't really come up very much, well, not at all actually, throughout the tournament, but it's definitely a play line to, you know, to take someone down to finish the game. So it's a really nice card, and I'm glad to have it in the Z deck. Second Z deck card, I've got Son Gohan facing new foes. It's just a 2-cost dual attack, deflect. I've basically got it in there as just an option. My hand's thin, you know, I can squeeze out 2 attacks for 2 energy. This is quite an interesting one. SS Gohan, come what may. Basically, this is just a defensive option. It's also, if I'm tanking a bit, I can grab a Trunks from my drop, from my deck when I play it. So it's kind of just like a get out of jail card, so to speak. And what it does is when I block with it, I can remove a card from underneath a Trunks and restand it. So basically what you do is you block with your 19k barrier Trunks, block with this, restand the Trunks, combo with that card underneath, and yeah, it's just basically just extra defense if you need it. 2 Son Goku Evolved Defenders. This card's amazing. It's expensive, but when you use it, it's very impactful. Against Crimson, for example, it totally shuts down a turn for Crimson. They basically can't do anything once you activate this card. So yeah, I highly recommend. I mean, this is a staple yellow Z card. Another staple yellow Z card, Oolong. Basically, you tag team this up with the Mirror Overrealm and try and go for those huge swings to finish the game. Came in clutch a few times during the tournament, to be honest. Summoning the impossible, surmounting the impossible. Oh my goodness, I can't speak today. This is a great card. It speaks for itself, really. Everyone knows it's the first Z card that we could get our hands on. Really great in a bind. And we'll start off with the deck profile. So first of all, we'll start with negates. 2 Frieza's Army reinforcements, just a helpful card to use. Not the greatest, because a lot of people were using Koitsukai, actually, which I noticed, and something that I was kind of clued up on beforehand. So it's not the greatest, but I was predominantly expecting aggro decks, black aggro, green aggro, so it was kind of for these decks to just give me a extra leg up when defending early turns with those. People might think this is a weird choice, but one flying Nimbus. I don't particularly like this card. It's very situational for me. I don't like discarding cards in yellow. The whole point of yellow is to outvalue your opponents. So essentially, this is a turn 5, turn 6 play just to shut down a later turn when they're going to have a lot, because it gets a lot more value later game, I think. But yeah, just the one. A lot of other people might use more, but like I say, it only came in handy for me later game. Otherwise, it was normally a charge. 2 Forbidden Powers. Now, you'd probably say, well, if you're using Forbidden Power, why aren't you just using Flying Nimbus? Well, the reason I like Forbidden Power is because I like to be able to get that 10k boost off of 1 energy. I'm playing a lot into later turns. That's just the way I play the game. I play a bit more controlling. So, and being able to rest things that have barrier also is very useful, because you can pair that up with the classic Vegeta KO things, ignoring barrier. So yeah, great card. And a lot more versatile, which is, I think, is important when you're playing in these webcam tournaments when it's best of 1 pre-sides. 2 Tyrannical Blows. The card is fantastic. You can instead of using counter on a floodgate, for example, you can just use this to negate the floodgate's skills. And yeah, so it's just a cheaper stop to that. That's the best use for it. But you can also, if you're playing against blue, it's fantastic. If they play any kind of thing on your turn, you just negate their boost skills, and then that will allow you to just go ham on the leader without worrying about a blocker or getting bottom decked. So great card. Very versatile as well. You can use it on anything, really, anything that's 3 cost or less, that doesn't have deflect. So Realm of the Gods, amazing card. Generally I would only use this to combo out and draw a card, so like a pseudo super combo. Maybe rest a few battle cards. Didn't really use it offensively that much, but it's a great card either way, and just a 2 of in this deck because it's quite extra card heavy. Final extra card is the Power of a Super Saiyan Classic. You got to have 1, and yeah, it's just, it speaks for itself. Okay, so we'll get into the main, the Unisons. I've only got 2 in the main deck. Unison of Fury. Like I was saying before, I basically built the deck in order to counteract heavy aggro. So like Supreme Kai, SS4 Xeno Goku, Margin Vegeta, these sort of decks. And this guy is incredible. He can just turn the turns off. So you depending on how aggressive your opponent is, you can just stall out for a few turns by playing these guys. So I do have a third one in the side, which, to be honest, was getting sided in most games. It's also incredible for the SS4 matchup, which I had 4 out of 6 of. We'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, it's a mandatory card in yellow for that SS4 matchup if you want to have a chance of winning. And it was a heavy part of my success, I would say. And when I didn't have it, I really felt it. So we'll get into the archetypal cards. So for the Trunks, I'm actually running 4 of the 1 costs. We all know what he does. And 4 of the 3 cost. The reason I'm running 4 and 4 is because I was testing for almost a month with 51 cards in the deck, and yeah, it was consistent and stuff, and I don't know why. Just the night before, I was compelled just to add an extra 1 of each, because I think the card is a must-see, especially if you consider what I was talking about regarding defending against heavy aggro. So you really need to see that early game to stand a chance in those situations. Get that extra value defensively. Next up, I've got 3 of the Vegeta Future on the line. I should be hiding the non-pre-release one there. Gotta be bling. So yeah, this card's amazing. 20k beat stick. KO things ignoring barriers as long as they're rested. This is the card I was talking about that works really well with Forbidden Power if you need to KO something big that can't be touched. And then 3 of its counterpart 1-drop. Normally you'd think to run 4 of these for the awakening purpose, because you have to place one of these underneath the leader in order to awaken on 2 energy. However, it only asks for a Vegeta. It doesn't ask for a Vegeta father and son teamwork. So you can use the new 1 cost to awaken also, which allows me to lower the amount. So yeah, you got Son Goku and Vegeta Alliance of Rivals. This is basically the same thing as the other 2, except it's not. It doesn't search. It doesn't search for either or, pretty much. But it can be used as a substitute for either the 3 cost or the either the 3 cost or the, excuse me, I've forgotten what I was saying, for the awakening. So yeah, it adds a bit of more consistency to the deck, and it also allows you to play this really great card. After turn 3, you can play Vegito, Fight for the Future, another one of these new dash pack cards. So basically what this card does, on turn 3 you can play it just like the others, and it draws 2, one for the leader, one for its cost, and then yes, and it switches to active mode the same way as the other cards do. And basically when it attacks, you can choose a battle card in rest mode and pretty much stop it from standing on the charge phase. So they can stand it in other ways if they have like abilities to do so, but if not, you can just rest a big battle card as long as it's rested. So keep it locked. This came up a little bit again. I will say it wasn't like huge. Like it wasn't like, oh, the deck's brilliant because of the dash pack support. Honestly, it was barely used, and I would say that the deck was fine without the dash. Like if I didn't have the dash pack support, I think I still would have done a similar job. Although saying that, the 1 cost is probably the most the best card that they release out of the 3. So I've got 2 of the 8-drop. Really great card. You can do some crazy stuff with it early game if the opportunity presents itself. Nothing like critting someone for. I mean, I've done it once before with the secret rare. I managed to crit someone for 65 triple when they had 2 energy. So kind of, you can kind of go at that speed and turn into a Shinsenron kind of build. So that's a really great card. Not so great later game, and against blue it's practically useless. I was siding it out quite a lot, honestly, because you're playing more of a value game with Trunksgeta, I think. But it is a fun card, I will say that. It's probably the most fun card in the deck. Boutine, classic. I don't know how she has dodged Boundless, but I'm not complaining. She is instrumental in, I've only got two copies, but she is very, very good in defending you early game. If you can get Trunks out and get one of these in your hand, you're mitigating a big percentage of early swings. So yeah, pair this with your Trunks, and then I don't know, Mecha Frieza Riposte, then people aren't getting as many swings in as they'd hope, and that's basically the idea of this build. Next up is the Slug package. I'll just do it all together. So basically, Slug is amazing. If you can fit it in yellow, generally it's worth having it in your deck. A lot of the time though, I would side this out. I would charge this. It's just kind of a situational thing where you can shut off a lot of decks just by playing it. And SS4, it was very, very helpful for that. Although a lot of players now will be running the smoke dragons, so its value is a lot less now. So you have to kind of just consider it as like a 1 or 2 turn option. You know, it's not something that's going to stick the whole game. But if you can get it early game against SS4, then you know you're really going to ramp your advantage. Next up, it's pretty much in every yellow deck. And now Resolve Renewed's locked to Vegito. It's, you know, it's got a lot more value because not everyone's playing red and just getting rid of it. So 3 riposts, really good, easy to set up in my build because of the amount of extra cards you have. You have wiggle room to charge the cards and use the cards that early game that you don't think you're going to need later. Next up is Swift Retaliation Cooler. This card is the game winner if you're on the offensive. Really great card. Yeah, I mean, probably people want that card banned, but I think it's holding yellow together. Another boss monster, we have Mirror. This card is amazing. This is the card you pair with Oolong. So essentially you swing with this after overwhelming, and everything in your warp gives you this card 5k. So, you know, I won, to be honest, I won 2 or 3 games using this card. Just basically overswinging once the value game got low. You know, both players had, you know, down to 5-6 cards in hand max. You pull this out and they haven't got negates or answers for it, then, you know, there's nothing they can do against a 90k swing. This with Oolong, and Oolong basically activate mains and takes the power of something, and when you swing with this, it gains the power for the turn. So that's the combination. Champa as well, just, you know, what a card. You add that with a 90k swing, it's gonna hurt. I think I hit someone for 125,000 during the tournament. So okay, so we have 3 super combos. Krillin, speak for themselves. Bottom deck 1, draw 2s. Really great for filtering out unwanted cards when you're trying to hit those big combos. So yeah, you know, the only reason I've got 3 is because I'm running this secret rare, which is definitely a game winner as well. This beast of a card definitely paid dividends. It won me probably 2 or 3 games. Just the value, just being able to outvalue people when they were, you know, giving it their all. You know, just such a great card. Honestly, it's basically how it works is it's a 5 plus 30k combo. However, you get -1 on the cost for every card your opponent has rested. So if they have 5 cards rested, it's basically a 30k free combo. So essentially, if people were trying to aggro me, I'd wait till they over comboed a bit, maybe with a double strike or something like that, and then at that point I'd play it, or combo it, and then once it comes in, it rests a card and draws a card, so it's got huge value there. And basically when it swings, does the same, it rests a card and draws a card. So an amazing secret rare, definitely integral part of the defensive build that I have. I was running Android 17, but this is a friend's SCR, so I lent him my Blue Gohan SCR. So we basically had a little trade. So thank you very much for that, David. Appreciate you. Finally, we're going to just get into the side deck. So I had an extra Unison of Fury that was just pretty much used in every game because everyone was playing kind of aggro. We'll get into that in a minute. Absolute Annihilation makes your opponent basically pay 1 every time they activate a extra card. Really helpful. You play that turn 6, turn 7. It's a real spanner in the works to whatever defensive strategy they've decided to go with. It's very disruptive, fantastic card, and it has barrier and deflect as well. Time Magic, it was mainly for Kai and that's the only time it actually came up, because Kai attacks so much that yellow just simply doesn't have the negates, and I knew if I was playing Kai that I'd be comboing a lot. So having a sparking negate is very helpful when they've got dual attackers. So pretty much, yeah, that's all it was really for. Didn't really use it for anything else. Probably would have used it for other like black aggro decks. Death Blaster was mainly to try and hit Gohan, the SCR Gohan, to stop all the shenanigans, and also the 6-drop Vegeta if I came into ramp at all. But it didn't actually come into play at all throughout the day. Survival of the Fittest as well. This is for Android 17. Didn't really come into play at all. So then free Chi-Chis. I only played one blue deck, and I did play them, but I honestly didn't need to use it really. But I would always recommend using Dimension Magic Hate against blue. It can give you that extra edge that you need to win the game, to be honest. Bit of Hand Destruction Hate, just in case. Free Gohan's absolutely free. If you discard it, you play it and draw one. So it's just a nice little helpful thing to have in a yellow deck where energy is sparse. Deborah is obviously the natural choice, but I don't really want to be saving energy for Deborah. And then finally, I've got 2 Black Smokes. This was for like Slug and stuff like that. For if they got Slug down before I managed to get a Vegeta on board, I wouldn't be able to play the Vegeta because I have to draw one to play the card. So this is basically just a way of removing barrier threats without having to play anything or worry about anything like that. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I'll quickly just go through my matchups. In the first round I played SS4, won the dice roll, and pretty much it was quite a slow game. I'll be honest, I played SS4 4 times out of my 6 games, and 3 of them went to time, and the one that didn't go to time I lost. So essentially I was basically stalling their strategy, not purposely trying to stall for time, but just because I was playing so defensively minded that I wasn't really thinking about just like killing them. I would always win by having more life, like significantly more life, but that's all part of the process of slowly grinding and outvaluing your opponent. So pretty much, yeah, I would just take out maybe some negates or something and just add an extra unison of fury in. My second matchup was Crimson. I played against Crimson. I got quite lucky with that as well. He won the dice roll, but he kind of didn't really manage to get much momentum. I managed to put quite a lot of pressure on early to make him awaken on my turn as well, so he didn't get that explosive damage turn. So yeah, overall that was a really successful game. And then I played 3 more SS4s. The 2 others, like I said, I've outvalued and just went the distance. And David beat me. He basically just pummeled me into the ground pretty much. I was defending as much as I could, but I just couldn't stay on top of his assault, is the best way to put it. So yeah, congratulations again to you, David, for coming first. I'll get you next time. I hope. And then my final game was against Ollie, Big O Notation, the European champ. He was playing Kai, which is what I'd basically steered my deck to counter pretty much. So I won the dice roll as well. So it was a very tough match, and it was very, very close going. I had to swing with Poutine to get the win. But we got there in the end, and I managed to basically go 5-1 and second place, which is my highest placing in a Bandai event. So yeah, really, really proud of that. And yeah, thanks for everyone that played. It was a really great tournament, and I hope to see a lot more raid and trade tournaments. So yeah, it's been a while since I did a video. I've done a few more tournaments. I've had a few other great results. Yeah, I did a regional in London in sort of the start of winter, and I came 8th, which was really good. That was with Red Sin, and then I went to nationals with Red Sin again, and I came 21st. I bubbled out on the 16th, getting X and 2, same as some of the players that were in the top 16. Shout out to Peter Dance, congratulations. So yeah, I mean, it's all around very successful year, and basically hoping to have a lot more success moving forward. So thanks again for watching my profile, guys, and yeah, please visit our Patreon or TCGPlayer. All the money that we make goes into running the website. So thank you very much for all the support, and yeah, we'll see you next time, guys. See you again.